The most common destructive habit in all of photography has absolutely nothing to do with your camera settings. It is a physical instinct. You see something interesting, you walk up to it, you stop, raise the camera to your eye, and press the shutter. As a result, your image looks exactly like what a person standing 5.5 feet off the ground sees. It looks like every other tourist snapshot ever taken. It is visually safe, and safe is boring. In the last lesson, I promised we were going to tear the structural grid apart. To do that, we have to stop relying strictly on lines and start manipulating physics and psychology. Today, we are fundamentally changing the emotional weight of your images. I'm going to show you how dropping to your knees can turn a subject into a hero, and why embracing total, terrifying emptiness might be the most powerful compositional choice you can make. I'm Dale Sinclair. Welcome to the North of Wendigo photography path. Today, we are moving beyond the grid to master the elements of composition: point of view, negative space, and filling the frame. Let's start with point of view, or perspective. Where you physically place the camera in three-dimensional space dictates how the viewer feels about your subject. When you shoot from above, a high-angle shot, you diminish the subject. You make them appear smaller, isolated, and vulnerable. The viewer feels dominant, looking down upon the scene. This is powerful for telling stories about harsh environments. Now, drop the camera to the ground and shoot upward. Instantly, the psychology flips. Because viewers are culturally and psychologically primed to read height as authority, taller or higher scene subjects are often perceived as more dominant. A low angle gives your subject immense power. To exaggerate this scale, grab a wide or ultra-wide lens, like a 16 to 35 millimeter. Try shooting around f5.6 or f8 for clean subject separation. Just be careful. Wide lenses looking up can cause massive facial distortion on human subjects, so watch your edges. And keep your horizon level so you don't accidentally slip into a dizzying Dutch angle. The second element is filling the frame. Legendary war photographer Robert Capa famously wrote in his book, Slightly Out of Focus, "If your pictures aren't good enough, you aren't close enough." A common beginner mistake is trying to include everything in the scene. But when you include everything, the viewer doesn't know what matters. Context easily becomes clutter. Filling the frame is an act of violent elimination. It is pushing in so tight that the subject touches the edges of the image. By destroying the context, you force extreme intimacy. We are no longer looking at a dock. We are looking at a lifetime of hard labor etched into skin. For settings, grab a prime lens or a dedicated macro. Stop your aperture down to f8 or f16 just to keep that texture sharp across the frame. Because you're losing light, use a tripod or bump your ISO for handheld shooting. And if you want extreme depth across the entire macro texture, you'll need to explore focus stacking. Cut the distractions out. But photography is about balance. If filling the frame is about aggressive intimacy, our third element is about the profound luxury of silence. We need to talk about negative space. Negative space is the empty area around your subject. In photography, empty space has massive visual weight. When you surround a small subject with seemingly endless negative space, you tell a story about scale and isolation. It gives the viewer's eye a place to rest. But watch your exposure. Bright backgrounds will trick your light meter. Spot meter your subject or dial in some positive exposure compensation to prevent them from turning into a dark silhouette. There is one more physical tool that controls your empty space: your aspect ratio. Most full-frame and APS-C DSLRs use a native 3:2 sensor, while many phones and Micro Four Thirds cameras default to 4:3. Always check your camera's native ratio before composing. If you want to exaggerate a vast horizon, dive into your menu and switch to 16:9. Choose the border that fits the emotion. When you see a great subject, is your instinct to capture the whole environment or push in close? Tell me in the comments. Recognizing your bias is the first step to changing it. And if understanding these psychological triggers is helping you decode your images, make sure you're subscribed. We are building a ground-up curriculum, and you'll need these elements when we tackle shaping light in Module 6. How do you know which element to use? It comes down to your intent. What is the emotion of the scene? If the emotion is chaos or claustrophobia, fill the frame. If the emotion is loneliness or scale, step back. Embrace negative space. You are choosing how the viewer experiences reality. Here is your field assignment. We are breaking the eye level habit. Pick one static, everyday object, a fire hydrant or a park bench. I want 3 distinct shots. Image 1, the hero angle. Drop to the ground and shoot up. Image 2, fill the frame. Get so close the edges of the object disappear. Image 3, negative space. Take 20 steps back and let the environment drown it out. A mandatory word on the professional code. Safety and respect come first. When dropping to your knees for that hero angle, check your footing and be aware of your surroundings. If you are pushing in close on a human subject, ask for permission first. Respect private property and respect local laws. For mobile shooters, phones are incredible for point of view. Place your phone flat on the ground and use your ultra-wide lens to exaggerate the hero perspective. You now have a complete structural toolkit. If you master what we've covered so far, you will take objectively good, balanced photographs. But sometimes the emotion you want to convey isn't balanced. Sometimes it is frantic. In our next lesson, we are throwing the grid out the window. I'm going to show you exactly when and why to intentionally break the rules of composition for aggressive imbalance and visual tension. I'm Dale Sinclair. Change your angle, and I'll see you on the path.